be showing you how you can repair your world for 1.17 by removing chunks from them. Now, why do you want to remove chunks from your world? Well, one of the main reasons is so that you can access some of the new features that are coming in that update. For example, in chunks they've already explored, and chunks are basically just areas that Minecraft uses to just like store what's happening in those areas. They're 16 by 16 areas. And so what you're going to want to why you want to delete chunks is so that you can access, for example, in 1.17, there's going to be new copper ores, amethyst geodes, so many new things that if you just keep your chunks, and you have to you're going to have to go exploring miles upon miles just to find those new chunks. So that's why you want to be deleting some chunks from your world. That should be the main reason. Especially if you're just doing it before an update. Some might do it just to clean up their world if it's getting too large. And then you can just clean it up so that it doesn't take up as much storage. Another reason why. So, how can you delete chunks from your world? Well, what you're going to want to do first of all is just go to a website called MCA Selector. So if you just search that up, and then there should be this GitHub link. So if we just do that, then if you go into the releases, so this is the latest release. It might be, if you're watching this from the future, there might be a new release, but for now this is the latest release. Then what you want to do is just go all the way down to MCA Selector Setup.exe, and thus if you're on Windows, then this will be the one that you want to use. So if you just click on that and then wait for it to download, okay. Then if you want to open it, it might give you some kind of like, for example, for me it says Windows protected your PC, don't run. There's a button there, but if you just click on more info, then you can just click run anyway. Now I already have it installed, so I'm not going to do that. But when you click run anyway, then it just gives you an option to set the language. It gives you the terms and conditions so that you can just tick that, and then you should be able to just install it. So next up, what you're going to want to do is head on to MCA Selector. Okay, so now that we're on to MCA Selector, what you want to do is click on Open World, so File then Open World, and then what you do is just click on any world that you want to do. So in my case, it's going to be Diamond's World. So it'll just take a second to load, and as you can see, this is what we have for Diamond's World. Now I have actually already clipped out some of the chunks in this world, so I'm just going to make another test world and quickly just load in some chunks so that I can show you how this works. Okay, so if I fly, and let's just add a few chunks here. So as you can see, all of these chunks are just starting to load in. All of these squares. Okay, just gonna bend the other one. I'll rejoin you once I just got a few chunks loaded in so that we can actually see this work in progress. Okay, so as you can see, I've loaded a lot of chunks, and I made a little humble abode here. I spent a few hours on this. So yeah, I surely just did not build it right now. I spent a few hours building this, so I want to keep this when I reset all my chunks. Okay, let's just say that that's what happened. Even though I did, don't focus on all these blocks in mind and how small it is. Okay, this is just going to be a test world. Okay, so where's the coordinates? At 120, 20. So I'm just going to remember those coordinates. So 120 minus 20. Okay, written those down. And now I'm going to head back into MCA Selector. But I'm just going to close this world and actually also close Minecraft before I do this. Because if you're still in the world, then sometimes that can cause a lot of issues. I'm also going to create a backup. Actually, well, I would have created a backup if it wasn't just a test world. If this is a world that you spend a lot of time in, just like any world really, just create a backup. Because if you accidentally go and delete a world that you've already played in, and you've done a few buildings in it, and then you accidentally forget about one of those buildings and delete it from the entire world, there's not gonna be any way of getting that building back. The entire Minecraft world. There's no way of getting that back. So yeah. I'm just gonna log out of Minecraft and meet you in MCA Selector. Okay, so I am now in MCA Selector. As you can see, I've still got Diamond World open. How about I just go into Open World? Then where is it? New World 3. That's what I saved it as. There, that you can see a few chunks loaded in. As you can see, it's just gonna start loading in all of the areas. Okay, shouldn't take too long. And just quickly tell you how you navigate through MCA Selector. So to navigate in MCA Selector, what you do, so to select a chunk, and these big ones, these ones are not chunks. These are massive areas. These are absolutely massive areas. You never want to be really deleting those unless you're absolutely sure that that you don't need any of them. These small areas are actual chunks. And the way they select them is by left clicking you, and you'll see that it will become orange. And to unselect, you right click. And to move around the Minecraft world, you hold down the scroll key and move your mouse, basically. So just hold down the scroll key and move your mouse, or you can use WASD as you would in normal Minecraft to move around. Although that is quite slow, so I'd recommend just holding down the middle click button. And now, if we just go ahead and find a house, which is actually right there, that's a little bigger than I expected. So right now, let's say that we want to delete all of these chunks. What do you want to do? Just select them. That's how you delete them. Or of course, and you can just drag and stuff to delete a chunk. Well, not delete it, just select it for now. That's not gonna. If you just do this, then it's not gonna delete those chunks immediately. Thankfully, otherwise that could just lead to some massive problems. But what you want to do is you want to delete a chunk. So let's just say this chunk. I want to delete that one chunk. What you go is left click on it, select it, click on selection, and then delete selected chunks. So or Control plus D, and then it will give this message: Are you sure to delete one chunk, or how many other chunks you want to delete? Then you can just click OK, and now it will reload in all of the stuff. And as you can see now, there's just a black hole there. And because that chunk is not loaded in, it's not been saved anymore, and now there is no chunk there, and we have to go in and reload this. Let's say that we just want to delete everything that we've done except for the house. Well, we can just go ahead and get everything selected except for this house that we have here. It's not that's not the house. Here it is. So then we can just clear out a little area around our house, just like that. And there we go. Now we can just go back into selection, delete selected chunks, and it will give a lot larger number. And then it will take a few seconds to load probably. And there we go, have it. We've deleted all of these chunks. So when we go into 1.17 now, well, after it's released, so just 1 day's time until it's released, and then we should start to see some amethyst geodes and whatever generating in those areas, because now they are all deleted chunks from this world, and Minecraft has saved them, so when you go back into the world, everything will just reload. So I hope that this has been a clear explanation on how to use MCA Selector. There are a few other things that you can use it for example, copy and pasting chunks. So I could technically just go ahead, do that, then copy chunks, then paste chunks, and now you'll see that I actually have two houses. If I just drag that there, okay, and then if I just paste chunks, unknown number of chunks, there we go. And now you can see that I've got another house right there, so I can go back into there and check. And I'll have another exact copy of this house over there. That's another thing that you might be able to use it for. There's a bunch of other things, exporting the selected chunks. That'll just basically just save them in a different file. Exported image will just save this as an image. This part is what we selected. And yeah, and then you can also import stuff, of course, just if you have a file or something and you want to import it. But that's pretty much it for MCA Selector. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you